What's up, everyone? I'm Virginie from Better Music, and this is my podcast, Better Minds, a place where we will get to be ourselves and talk about life, our struggles, our health, and of course, music. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome to this new episode of Better Minds. I am here today with the amazing Judy Blank.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. I'm wearing this colorful shirt because I think you're so colorful and fun and cool. So,
Look, thank you for doing that. And what is that colorful thing in front of your face? Is that a mic?
yeah, that's my mic.
I like that. I want that on stage.
It's cheap, but it's cool.
I like it. Sounds good to me.
So, you recently released this new song. It's called Killing Time.
Yeah.
And it's about your high school horrors.
Yes. You can definitely say it's about my high school horrors.
My God. So, how was your childhood and how was school in general for you?
All for me was hard. It was fun because I really loved going to school, but I found it really hard to blend in socially, being a girl who had skipped a grade when she was very young. So from a very young age, I was already younger than everyone else in my group. And when I started going to high school, that was actually only made worse because right now, when you're 28 and someone else is 29, that doesn't really matter. But if you are 12 and everyone else is 13, it means that your body looks different. It means you don't have any boobs yet. And it means it is a reason for them to pick on you. And that is kind of what happened throughout my whole school career. For being younger, for being kind of a weirdo, for not really fitting in as much. And I think that is part of why I wrote Killing Time.
Mm. So, what biggest struggles did you go through, essentially?
Well, my parents lived very far from the school I went to. So I had to bike to school, and it was like an hour and a half one way.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, especially when you're 11. But we did that, and we had a little group of people from my same town that were doing that too. And that was awesome. But every time I would arrive at school, I mean, my hair looks amazing now, but at the time I was a little curly head with no knowledge on how to do that. And every time it was like early in the morning and kind of damp outside, it would make my hair really frizzy. So I remember very vividly going to school and everyone just calling me a sheep.
Oh, wow.
And it's so funny that now my curls are my trademark, but back in the day, I hated them. I wanted to have straight hair like all the cool girls, and I wanted to live closer to school so I could join in more social activities and didn't have to bike back home and had to miss out on all the parties because my parents wouldn't drive me.
Mm.
So that was, I think that was a harder one. I think my life would have been a little easier if I lived closer to school.
Oh, my God.
Silly, right? That something as simple as that can just affect your day and how people view you.
And what time did
Um,
you have to get up to
oh,
go to school?
I think it was like 5:45 every day to be ready. It was horrible. After that, I had a very complicated relationship with bikes because now I love it again. But for years after high school, I was like, nope,
Trauma.
I am not getting on a bike.
But did you have any friends, though?
I did. I think looking back, there were a lot of people that did vibe with me, but I never fit in perfectly in one group. So I would be individual friends with a lot of different people from different groups, but I would never be actually invited into a certain group. I did have my best friend who was from the same hometown I was from. And she also never really truly fit in anywhere. So we had each other.
Mm.
But in the break, I used to just kind of float around to see whoever would be nice to me that day or who I saw that was fun. And then, yeah, I've always been very social and very flexible, but I never had a solid friend group like a lot of people did have.
Mm.
So that made me
yeah.
kind of an outsider, kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, I bet. I didn't go through that, but I can't imagine what you went through. It must have felt very lonely.
At times, not all the time, but I definitely learned that it is so important to have people around you that care about you and that you don't need to fit into a certain social system just because it exists. Because if I would have been a group person, then I probably would have been in a group like that. But I am super ADHD and also super all over the place and very easily distracted. So maybe in a way it was good for me that I got to know all these different kinds of people. And yeah, I would hang out with the kind of like the outsiders and the skaters and the queers. Like, and at the time it was very special still. And like, especially at a Christian school, like, oh, they're gay. And I was like, interesting. Tell me more.
So, how did these experiences impact your mental health?
I think that's a really good question. But I definitely think my inability to fit in anywhere has shaped or has planted seeds of insecurity in me that I really, really, really had to overcome. Just a feeling of never being good enough, always having to fight a little harder than everyone else. Yeah, kind of being an underdog and having to learn to accept that. Because for the longest time, I really, really thought that I would never be good enough to even do music or be accepted as an artist. Because I felt like a fraud. Like I could not be an artist. How could I be an artist?
Mm.
Me? I don't belong anywhere. So that is that I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that feeling of not being good enough, I know that. Because I didn't get bullied at school, but I had this with my family because they would always judge and criticize everything I did or said. So I struggled a lot with that.
That's so tough.
Self-love and all this.
Yes,
So
and
hard.
it really is. And that is something very relatable to me as well, because I grew up in kind of a religious household, mostly my mom. And listen, I love her to death, and I will forever,
Mm.
which is to death. But um I definitely do not agree with the way she raised me. And if I was ever to have a kid, I would not uh treat that kid the same way she did me, especially in terms of self-expression. Like you just mentioned my colors and um my my colors and my brightness and creating a little world. I love that. But it's a very childlike thing that I love, that I feel like didn't really get a chance to grow when I was actually a kid. I was never encouraged to express in a certain way. And if I did express, because I was a very expressive child, oftentimes it wasn't approved. Like, if I was really proud and like I had my little money that I got every month, like my 50 euros to buy clothes with for the month, if I did that and I had kind of like found an outfit, for example, shopping with my friends, and I'd come home with it and I thought it was really cool because now I could look like the cool people and I picked it out and I love it and it's funky and weird crop tops. They're in now. And then I would proudly show it to my mom, and she'd just have that look of like disapproval of like, no, you shouldn't wear a tank top. No, you're not going to school like that. You're not wearing a crop top. And everything was always too short. That is a voice that I'm still trying to unhear. Like every time I put on a skirt, it's like too short. And that stuff really instills a kind of like sadness in a kid, and it dims your light. And I think as a result of that, I started dressing super skater, and I actually started skateboarding because I felt like the boys would kind of just accept me as I was, and I didn't really try to impress them with like my femininity, and they were just cool with me hanging. Especially just yeah, they were just cool with me hanging.
Mm.
And then I would come down the stairs in my like baggy clothes that were not too short, and then my mom would say, "Well, now you look like a boy."
Uh,
So I have that feeling of
yeah.
never really, even at home, never really being good enough and not having the freedom to express myself the way I fully want it. So I think right now that I've let go of that shame, I feel like the world is my oyster and my playground. And I'm having so much fun picking color patterns and weird clothes and um, putting dinosaurs on stage and thinking up the wildest music videos just because I can. And
Now you
there's no,
can.
yeah, and there's no voice in my head saying I shouldn't.
Exactly. I mean, I totally relate to your story. Every time I would wear something different, they would be like, why are you wearing this? Like just a normal hat and normal beanie and just like you, like any clothes, they would say something to me. And I would still wear it. I was like, I don't care.
Good for you. Look at you go. I wish I did. She wouldn't let me leave the house with the clothes on.
We're still hard though, because you would get criticized for everything, but who cares?
Literally, who cares? Who cares?
We have to be ourselves.
Yes. And that is also my mission to give that to the world right now. Because I do feel like it inspires people if you are
Yeah.
truly your authentic.
And I can see that and I love it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Every time I see a picture or video, I'm just like, damn, this girl is amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad it resonates.
You know who you are and you just show it.
Yay.
And that's so key. And I love it.
Well, I'm glad. It took some years though, because I've been making music for a while, and I feel like with this record specifically that's coming out, I feel like I've truly let go of all the inner voices that I still had, and all the shame and all the guilt that I've been having all my life and been having to let go of as a woman in this society, but also as a woman coming from a very small town, a very non-creative family.
Oh,
Yeah, small town girl.
very small town in France. I don't know how many people we have here, but small town. We don't have any artists. Asian families, so very strict, and so I choose something different. But I'm here today, I guess.
I'm glad you did.
I never gave up, but yeah, it was so hard. I'm 38 now, but it took me a while. I never gave up, but that thing you said about, choosing your career and doing the things you love and choosing, what you want to wear, it took me 35 years maybe to be very confident and to do it.
Yes, I'm so happy you're there though. Because imagine if every child was just raised to wear whatever the hell they wanted, to have fun with it, and to be encouraged to be creative and expressive. And cool, you want to wear your pajamas to school? Good for you, girl. Have
Yep.
fun. I wish there were more parents doing that, because imagine what beautiful people there would be in the world that didn't have to get rid of that shame before becoming the people they are.
So true. We were messed up and we had to work on ourselves.
Yes. All my friends are traumatized too. It's like classic, right? You're not, every time I meet someone with like a super healthy childhood, I'm like, really? You have no trauma? You're not a part of this club. You're not real.
I don't know anyone with zero trauma.
No,
We
it's
all
not.
have trauma.
Yeah, we all have it somewhere for sure.
But
Yeah,
some people
life
just
will.
hide it.
That's true. They push it away. I think I just have never been able to hide my trauma because I'm a songwriter. It's like, oh, I'm gonna keep this a secret for very long. Let's write a song.
Well, so, what message would you give to your inner child today?
Wow. I would tell her that everything is already okay and that she does not have to change for anyone, and that all of her feelings.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, I'm feeling that saying it because I'm thinking of all the pictures that are in my phone that I took of other pictures of my little self, and I see such a sweet little happy kid, just such a happy kid with so much wonder and excitement about the world and about people and about life, and even talking to you about this, about someone and people, and even her insecure classmates that were freaking bullies, that were trying to morph that into something smaller and try to keep her smaller. I wish I would have been there to say, no, stop doing that. She can do whatever she wants.
Yep.
I would if I ever had a kid. I would. That kid could wear pajamas to school all she wanted and would be allowed to ask all the weird questions about everything. Yeah, I think that would be my goal, to raise a kid that doesn't feel shame.
And we have to let kids express their emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah, because people will always be like, don't cry, don't laugh, don't smile,
yeah.
stay
And if you
quiet.
Yeah, and just do the thing, do your work. And yeah, how about play? I think that theme of playing is so big on the new record as well. It was very fun to make it, and I feel like through making the record, I learned to be a more playful person again, and I really got in touch with that inner child.
Mm. We always keep that, the inner child.
Yes,
That's great. I love it.
they live inside of us.
Yeah, sometimes I get sad when I see my old photos. I'm just like, oh, I wish I could tell her it's gonna be okay. But then it's not. But then it's gonna be okay again.
It will be okay. Yes. And learning that everything comes in waves, right?
Yep, exactly. So, what message would you give to children today?
Get off your phone. Get off your phone. I'm also saying that to myself, by the way. But yeah, I think when I see kids nowadays, it's really, I read something in an article today about like, because of iPads and the like parents like just putting their kids in front of iPads to keep them quiet, because parents are also overwhelmed, right? The world is very intense at the moment, and there are kids, like little toddlers, that know how to read but don't know how to walk or don't know how to socially interact with other kids. And that to me is heartbreaking, because I grew up in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and I had no phone. And I feel like that gave me at least the capacity to just to live and to take on my problems as they came and to play without distraction, to be present. I feel like I've definitely lost that over time, especially being an artist in 2025, because
Yep.
it's a lot of phone work and social media and all of that. And honestly, I hate it. I don't love it. I don't love that part of my my career. But I am really thankful for having had a childhood with not that. I was able to play and I grew up spacious in that small little town, and I would kind of want that for every kid to just make friends and play outside and be silly while it's socially accepted.
I actually missed that. That was
Yeah.
so fun. My friend would just knock on the door and be like, okay, let's hang out. And we'd just go.
Yes. Right. That freedom and that golden hour and the golden hour bike rides and knowing that you were going to be home at 6 because that's when the food was on the table. And if you weren't there, people were going to freak out, but mostly get mad at you. So you didn't want to do that. Those endless summer days with like the smell of the cherry blossom in the air, I definitely
Beautiful.
miss that, but I'm so happy that I got to experience that.
We would also write letters.
Oh,
I used to do that a lot.
Did you have pen pals?
Yep, I did. Just some in Italy, Spain, France, Portugal.
Wow. How did
so
you
fun.
find them?
Can't remember. I honestly don't know. I forgot.
That's so funny because you're also a writer, so that was maybe the beginning of it.
I think my sister found them and then I became their friend, I think.
Amazing. Yeah, I love that kind of like the romanticizing life like that. And also just taking the time to do that because I still write letters and cards. When I'm on tour, I
Same.
send postcards to my family
Oh,
from
so nice.
not all the places I go to, but you know, when I find a dorky card from like Aspen, Colorado, I will send it.
We barely receive cards now.
Yes, and then people are so happy with them.
Exactly.
And the impact of a physical thing is so much bigger than a message, or even worse, this is something I hate so much.
What is it?
Liking a message.
I hate it too.
Oh,
I hate it.
oh.
It's like,
Thank you.
I don't want to answer, but I kind of want to answer, and so I'm just going to like it.
Like,
And that's it. I also hate when the person is just like, okay, and that's it.
okay, the O and the K,
Yeah,
not even the
nothing
whole world.
And nothing else. I want a sentence. I don't want just, okay.
Right. Like, wait, what did I do? Are you mad? Like,
Yeah,
are we fighting?
Yeah, it's too strict for me. Wait, I'm going to be careful now. I'm not going to like your messages now.
I'll accept it from you.
I like
Hey,
some of them.
It's so quick too, but I hate that is a like in text that is a feature now. You used to just
Even
not be able to.
You also have the haha.
Oh yeah, saying haha to a message. It's like, what are you saying?
Yeah,
It's
we don't
not
talk
that
anymore.
funny.
We don't talk anymore. Oh my god. So how would you describe yourself today? Are you happy? I want a deep answer, not yes or no.
Both.
Therapy session.
Therapy sesh. Yeah, I think I am happy. I am also incredibly overwhelmed at the moment and learning how to deal with that. I think putting out an album after 6 years of not having put out a full-length record, after having moved to the United States, to a whole new continent, to do it there, to get signed, because that was my mission. I wanted to get this record signed so it could come out good and have like good promotion and stuff. It all worked out eventually, and it is coming out on Rounder Records, and I'm so proud that that's happening. But internally, that like next levelness also comes with a big responsibility. And now that there's 13 people working on this record, I feel like there's so much pressure on me for this to do good. I feel like if the record is not in New Music Friday, I am letting the team down. And that is not a good feeling. And it's not for my mental health to think that way. And I try to not let it affect me as much. But the reality is that is a part of me that I'm having trouble letting go of. I'm having a really, really hard time saying no and being present and resting.
We have so much in common.
Really? Nice. It's hard. The expectations that no one is like actually actively putting on me, but there are expectations. No one is saying it has to do this, but they do say it would be really great if we had more organic streams that didn't come from the Spotify playlists. And I immediately take that super personally, like, how am I going to do that? But like, am I just going to ask people to listen to my music now? And it's freaky and it's freaking me out. And I need to not, because it's just music. And ultimately, it's not for me. I don't write my music so that I can listen to it or so that I can be famous. I'm writing this so that other people can relate to my struggles. So it's really, I think that's the biggest struggle, to separate me, the person, from the artist, because they are the same thing. And that's dangerous.
You need to find the right balance.
Yeah.
Between those two things. And it's hard.
Yeah, that's what every therapist has told me too. And then they're like,
I'm a therapist.
Yes. And then they're like, yeah. And then I talk to them for a couple of months. And then, in a very quiet period of my life, I'll be like, yeah, great. I think this is still a little bit messy and rocky, but I think I got it. And they're like, cool, you're good to go. You don't need me anymore. And next thing I know, I'm in the States and I'm in the exact same headspace that I was before. So that's a scary thing. But the good thing is I see my red flags a little sooner. Like tonight, I'm noticing like, oof, I'm really exhausted and I'm feeling pressure about this tour. I know that my stuff is scattered all over the place because I moved to America. So I don't have a house anymore. So I'm kind of like living like a nomad right now.
Yeah.
And that's stressful too. So I really have to find ways to ground myself. And one of the things I do to do that. Yeah. And one of the things I love doing is working out. And especially, yeah,
this is new for me. I've been doing it for like a few months.
Amazing.
And it's life-changing. I do it.
What do you like most about it? What do you love about it?
I don't know, the excitement. I need my heart to be super fast so I can forget everything in my mind.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good after. Before you're just like, you don't want to do it. But when you do it, it's amazing.
Yes, exactly. It's that afterglow. And I don't know, I just feel better about myself when I work out. And it feels like, nope, if I'm doing this for an hour, because I usually just do an hour of a group class, because I love being told what to do.
I don't have that in me.
No? Well, it helps. It helps me because I feel like in every aspect of my life, I am and responsible for everything. And I have to make every decision, and it's exhausting. It really is. Keeping up with those expectations that I was talking about, and like, Judy, what do you want your artwork to look like? What font do you want to use? Yeah. It's only going to be on the internet forever. So yeah, you decide. No pressure. Yeah. What song do you want to play? Like, I don't know. It's a lot to think of. But when I do one of those little group classes and they're just like, okay, step touch to the right, I'm like, yes. And it's amazing. And I'm like, please tell me how to live my life. I don't want to think this hour. Tell me everything. You want me to crawl? I'm going to crawl. Thank you. I would. Because it's nice. It shuts my brain off.
I get it.
So for me, it's honestly, it's working out helps me. Also another.
Meditation? Nope.
No, I just watch ASMR before I go to bed, and it makes me really tired whenever someone's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna put some Reiki energy on you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, do that." And I do journal a lot. That helps because when I feel overstimulated and overwhelmed, I just get my journal out, sit down, open it, and I just write. That really, really helps my mood and my anxiety. It's like an immediate lowering of pressure. Just writing it physically, not on my phone. Yeah,
I used to do that on my phone, but
no, you can't. Yeah,
not anymore.
Yeah, it's better to do it on. Yeah, amazing. I wish I was a little more. I mean, I love meditating. I do it at the end of certain yoga classes. I do love that.
You also do yoga. I do that too.
See? Nice. We have so much in common.
I love yoga.
Yeah, it's good for everything.
Yeah. Life-changing again. So, last question. Would you say that music was a form of therapy for you?
Always. Oh, yeah. I feel like I started writing my songs when I was 14, when I started learning to play the piano. But before that, I already was writing a lot of little poems and stuff. And just singing melodies, even though I couldn't even play an instrument, but I was quote unquote writing songs. Like on that bike ride to school, like I would come up with lyrics and they were always in English. Funny, right?
I love that.
But I think music has really saved me because it helps me make sense of the world and of deeper feelings that I don't really know how to put into words. And for me, there's no other thing that is so powerful for me if I feel really weird about something, I can write a song about it, and then I can look at the song and look at the lyrics, listen back to it, and it's as if that pressure cooker is just, as if I take that lid off, and it's like, whoa. So I now see it. I see why I'm feeling this way. And this is why. And I put it in a song, and now I feel lighter. And it has felt the exact same since I was 15. And it still feels that way. Like a pure therapy that is from within and maybe a higher power that helps you be creative and, make the right decisions in a creative little moment. But yeah, it's definitely therapy for me.
Beautiful. So this is the end of our conversation. What message do you want to give to anyone struggling with mental health?
There's something to be said for just feeling strong and putting in time for yourself and for your body and taking care of it. Not to be perfect, but just to create that little headspace and that good feeling about yourself. So, yeah, if you're in a funk, I would definitely recommend two things. One, writing a song or being creative in a certain way and writing down your feelings, whether you turn it into a song or not, and get moving.
Exactly.
And stay off your phone.
Okay, ma'am. I will do that.
Aye, aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Please, let's talk again sometime.
I would love that.
It'll be so fun. And good luck for everything. And take care. And
Thank you.
you're the best. You're amazing. And keep believing in yourself.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you so much for listening to this new episode. I hope you liked it. Words are so powerful, and it's up to us to use them in a positive way. What I want to tell you right now is this: be your true, authentic self. No matter what we do, people will always have something to say. But we need to put ourselves first. I struggled so much with that, but I somehow always listened to my heart, and I always did my best to be my true self. So wear whatever you want, choose whatever career you want, and don't be afraid to express your feelings and emotions. On that note, take care of your mind and see you next time.